morning. Welcome to God Focus this morning. The title of today's episode is Things Are Not As They Appear. Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. The flood that destroyed the wicked elevated the ark. We often feel like the enemy has the upper hand when really God is just waiting on the right time to bring the flood. During that flood, he will elevate us above the destruction and destroy the enemy. Even though they were rained on just as hard as the rest of the world, they were safe inside the ark. God gave people plenty of time to do the right thing, but they just mocked and laughed at the preacher who was building a boat on dry land. God was patient, but once he sealed the door, it was too late. God always has a plan. He always protects his people. Like during the plagues of Egypt, God's people were safe in the land of Goshen. They were safe in the place where they dwelled. Things escalated to the meeting at the Red Sea. That divine moment destroyed their enemy while delivering them safely to the other side. We can dwell in safety. He will never allow us to be overtaken by the enemy as long as we dwell in the secret place with him. We dwell under the shadow of his wings. God told Jehoshaphat to go to battle. He had 3 different armies that was coming against him. That sounds like a recipe for disaster. To the natural mind, what Jehoshaphat did may seem silly, but God knew what needed to be done. He led them into battle to see that God would take care of his people. These are just a few examples of how God used different people to destroy the enemy. Each one took faith and walking in God's promise that he would deliver. Can you imagine loading all those animals on a boat and getting inside not knowing what was going to happen? It took faith to get inside that boat with a bunch of wild animals. Under normal circumstances, they would have ended up ripped to shreds, but God made the animals to even be at peace. Imagine how scary it was feeling trapped by a body of water and the enemy closing in fast. God used that moment to show the Israelites that he was their God, their provider, and their protector. He turned that moment of fear into joy as they saw God destroy the enemy. Imagine you're a worshiper in Jehoshaphat's army. God says you will go before the army. To the natural mind, that seems like a scary place to be. You would be the first one to see the enemy. You would be the first one to be attacked. As you march along praising God, you are also the first one to see that the enemies had already destroyed each other. The Jewish people in the book of Esther were going to be destroyed. Haman, the evil advisor to the king, was determined to kill all of them. He had a special hatred for Mordecai, Esther's cousin. But after calling a fast, Esther boldly went before the king. And in that moment, God started to turn the situation around. Before that moment, the evil Haman had even built a gallows to hang Mordecai. But because they prayed and trusted God, the Jewish people were saved from being slaughtered, and the evil Haman ended up hanging on his own gallows. Him and his sons. God even destroyed his bloodline. These examples led me to believe as long as we trust in him, even when it seems to the natural mind that it's crazy or a bad idea, we will experience amazing things. We are about to experience what may appear scary to the natural mind. We live in uncertain times, but we know through reading the Bible that there is nothing that we face that we will have to face alone. This is why we have to fully trust in him. He will keep us safe and will show us amazing things. He will allow what the enemy meant to destroy us to be our salvation. If we can only trust in him. Take time to think about your life and your situations. Remember, things are not always as they appear. God may be allowing something that looks scary to launch you to your destiny. Hold tight to him. He will deliver you from the enemy as long as you look to him. Thanks for watching. Until next time, be bold, be brave, and keep your God focus. Like, share, and subscribe for more encouragement. Have a good day.